Did you see this segment from Pod Save America where Hasan Piker is talking about how Republicans kept lying about undocumented immigrants and Democrats did nothing about it?
That's the one thing that they have. And it's built around a complete falsehood that undocumented migrants are responsible for incredible amounts of crime. It's not correct. There is no data to suggest this. The data actually shows the exact opposite. Undocumented migrants are your neighbors. They contribute to the economy in very meaningful ways, and they very rarely take anything in return. Why is the Democratic Party not pushing this counter narrative? And they never did. Instead of pushing that counter narrative, which is based in truth, and talk about how undocumented migrants are responsible for less crime per capita than natural-born U.S. citizens are, or that fentanyl being trafficked across the U.S. borders are actually not coming in the knapsack of a otherwise law-abiding abuela, but instead it's coming from regular points of entry trafficked by American citizens. 90% of the people that are being apprehended for chemical compounds necessary for fentanyl or direct drugs that they're trafficking across the border are American citizens. Like this does not track with the narrative that people believe, because the narrative is dominated by the right.
Everything Hasan said was correct. Studies showing 150 years of arrest records again and again showed that migrants commit crimes at much lower rate than U.S. citizens. That U.S. citizens were the ones that were more likely to be bringing drugs across the border. And all that migrant crime, which John Oliver did a whole episode on that you should watch, all of those stories were fake news stories. Like the one about this kid putting up the middle finger after he was arrested for fighting a cop at Times Square that Fox News played 66 different segments on. Turned out this kid was never part of that fight. And that fight that seemed to have been the turning point for how much people just started hating migrants, that entire fight was started by the police themselves. So instead of, like Hasan said, Democrats being like, hey, Republicans are lying, playing ads saying these are lies, this is not happening. Migrants are good people who work hard, pay taxes, and are waiting for their opportunity to get a pathway to citizenship. No, Democrats did none of that. No, instead of doing that, what Democrats did were putting out ads showing how they were tough on immigration and how they were going to stop the crisis at the border. Again, a crisis that was not existing, but that played so much into Republicans' hands. Democrats and the media overall did not do a great job of basically saying, hey, undocumented people are not doing any of these things. And once the news was out there that all these stories involving migrant crimes were actually, misleading or didn't happen at all, the news didn't do the work to tell people, hey, that was a lie. No, it was already ingrained in people's head, and they already had the image of the evil undocumented person coming over to the U.S. to commit crimes, when again, it's not fucking happening. So yeah, Democrats definitely dropped the ball by not combating that misinformation to the point where even my own community believed that shit and voted against their best interest. Something I've been talking about a lot, and so has Hasan, so it turns out we're both really smart dudes that you should be following.